I'm gonna put my finger in Lucky,
Nani?
and I'm gonna make him scream.
Like a Muppet, or are we talking about like?
Oh yeah, don't let me
Okay,
Muppet.
gotcha.
Man. Really would.
I don't know what Muppet that was. I think I was trying to go for Kermit, but it didn't work out. Hey, welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny. Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you.
Die.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Johnny.
And we make up Anime Casuals.
What?
Today, I wanted to start this off with the Twilight Zone. No, I wanted to. I wanted to start this off with. So, I know, Johnny, you have been watching Buddha or My Buddha, whatever you call
my
that.
Buddha.
And
Yes.
My booty.
it's put some interesting things in our recommended, to say the
Really?
least. And I saw one, and I was like, it said Dogeza, and I don't know what the rest of the title is, but I looked up what a Dogeza was, and it is basically when somebody prostrates themselves or they bow and they put their head all the way to the floor, and they're like in a begging position. So I looked into this anime because it's only like 3 minutes long,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, let's see, why was this recommended for us? I figured out very soon why it was. So it's basically this guy, it's first person, and this guy's just begging. The very first episode is him just begging to see this girl's tits.
Of course.
And then within the span of
Okay,
about 3 minutes, she shows it to him. Like, what is going on here?
Series over, I guess. I don't...
Yeah, and then each episode is him trying to, like, begging somebody to either see their panties or boobs, anything. And then I figured out boobs means oppai, like, because he says it so much. I'm learning Japanese, folks. I'm learning it. Yeah, that highly recommended for
Wow.
you, Johnny. It's only 3 minutes long, so it works out pretty well.
Sweet.
It is censored, but
Boo.
I knew that was gonna. I knew that was gonna be the. But yeah, it is. It surprisingly wasn't too bad. And then yeah, I mean, what have you guys been keeping up with for the most part? Besides the ones that obviously we're gonna get into later.
Yeah, Johnny, if that's your name.
I don't know anymore.
Oh my god.
No one knows.
But I've been watching My Buddha. And I've also been watching Plunderers.
Hmm.
And it's taken some very interesting turns, and it's creating a very interesting story, and I'm enjoying it.
I really wish you could check your email right now, Lucky, because I just sent you a picture of the latest episode that Johnny watched. And
No, that's actually the episode I'm...
the episode you're going to watch, and it's a very let's just say it's a very graphic picture.
Oh, if you didn't see the next time on, that is
Yeah.
much more graphic.
So I will say that Johnny, he found a show that's right up his alley. I mean, good job, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
That's all I want.
I'm
not-
looking at it right now, and yeah, that
That's
context
the,
though.
main female.
Okay.
So if anybody else wants to find that picture, just look up a couple of those screenshots from My Buddha, and you'll
Yeah.
probably get the gist of it
Episode
real
13.
quick. Episode 13.
Yeah,
There you
make sure the safe search mode is off, because you'll probably get like
That's true.
actual Buddhas. You'll probably and you don't want that. Well, maybe you do, but it depends
Look
on what
up-
you're looking for.
My Buddha covered in liquid, and maybe you'll find it.
That's pretty accurate description of what I just saw. So what are you keeping up with, Michael?
So I wanted to watch this, but I didn't have a lot of time today, so I watched it just before this. I've been wanting to watch it for 2 weeks now, called By the Grace of Gods. And it's another isekai. So I was already approaching it with I've watched 25 isekais in the last 3 years, and I've gotten a lot of fill. In fact, Johnny and I have been catching up with Ascendants of a Bookworm, which is another isekai. But from watching the first episode, yeah, there's a lot of
The
isekai.
most tame isekai, I think.
That one's really like an isekai that's like, who cares about the other world? Just enjoy your new one.
Yeah.
So, By the Grace of Gods is basically like this very fit looking, like chiseled dude. He's like a Johnny sized dude that's like very chiseled. And hold on. And basically he works for what's called a black company. A black company is a company that gives no days off, works you to the bone, has horrible bosses, is like basically the epitome of horrible office life. And so this guy basically works himself to death, dies, and then three gods from a different world go, hey, we want to send you to this new world. And we're going to take some magic from Earth and throw it at our new one because it's running out. And I was like, whoa, this sounds pretty cool. And the trick to this is that right when the dude arrives, he arrives as an 8-year-old and by himself with the ability to use all types of magic. And then he just starts adopting slimes. So I was like, okay, is this going to be another reincarnated as a slime? But no, it kind of goes through like the first couple minutes going, these slimes are for cleaning. These are poisonous slimes. These slimes are good for making medicine. These slimes are good for this. And so it tells you like in the first 5 minutes, he has over 1,000 slimes because they just keep replicating and he keeps like feeding them different stuff. And I was like, I'm in. I'm already in. Like I like this weird utility like factor of like that he's going at it. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Watched the first episode. I enjoyed it, and it looks like it's just gonna be another fun isekai where it's not about the isekai thing. It's about the new world and what's there. So yeah. There's a couple funny moments like the dude dies and he's like, and there's like three gods sitting across from him. He's like, hello, how are you? And they're like, what? You just died. Shouldn't you be angry about it? He's like, no, people die. Everybody dies. And I was like, okay, dude, level head. Yeah, so I'll keep informing you about By the Grace of God because I like isekai. My name is Michael, and I like isekai.
Yeah, so and then just to let everybody know that's watching this or listening to this, we are going to start putting out podcasts that are specifically for the podcasting world. It won't be shown on YouTube, anything like that. So we're all over the place on most places where they provide podcasts, including Spotify. So that works out.
Spoticasts.
Yeah, Spoticast. But yeah, so and then one of the things that I was ranting on my last podcast was just seasons that never came, and you guys can listen to that. But I did just finish a show. Oh my God, The Legend of Legendary Heroes. And yeah, that one was really, really good. I was really surprised, but it leads on to make you assume that there's more to this show, and it came out in 2010, and I'm really mad about that because the English dub was pretty good. Eric Vale, who does the voice of Trunks in pretty much every Dragon Ball, is the king of this anime. It was great. Did a great job with it. But yeah, I mean, it just sucks, man. Seeing anime go into anime like I don't not it wouldn't be hell, more like purgatory or just whatever you want to call it. Just knowing that there's never gonna be another season. Of course, I could go like read the anime or read the manga, but I'm not Michael, so I won't do that. And then shots fired. Yeah, I was wondering if you guys do you think there's ever going to be a solution to this anime purgatory thing? Because even in like when I watch like sitcoms or things like that, obviously shows get canceled and whatnot, but man, anime, there's just so many of them that I'm just like, man, I feel like some of them just get brushed under. Do you think there's ever going to be a solution to this? Maybe more companies, maybe just global wide, like, I don't know. We're seeing it with Netflix. I mean, Netflix could pick up things that I mean, they already have picked up things that have been, quote unquote, canceled or, I mean, yeah, canceled. I mean, they did bring back like Young Justice for a little bit and then, that went back to DC, but you know what I mean. Do you think like there's a solution to this whole my show's never getting another season problem?
I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, like whenever I see like a show, because I don't know, maybe your show did this too, where they're like, this show will return in season 2, and I was like, will it though? I mean, is that just a bluff? Like, haha, we already said we're gonna come back, so you have to bring us back. I mean, I've always wondered that because I don't know when they, decide that. Like, yes, we would like another season. I mean, Netflix apparently phased it out like within 2 weeks of the show's release. They're like, yes, we're just gonna keep going with it, dump more money into it, please. But I don't know.
Well, I don't. I think we've talked about this on our own, but not on the podcast before. But there's like this theory that I've been talking to people about. That's like, and Netflix has been pulling anime over so they can see the viewer count to see how many people are rewatching or watching a show for the first time on anime, and then be like, okay, hey, this anime got like 1 million views in the last couple months. Let's give it another season. Or they're like, that was already popular, let's throw money at it. But so far, Netflix is the only one who's doing that because Crunchyroll has shifted over to let's take our money and put it into something new and do like a partnership with Webtoons. And so far, they've had 3 new series coming out of Webtoons. Again, we watched Noblesse, and that's kind of it has such a slow start that was like, compared to like Tower of God and God of High School. But then we have like Funimation, who's just like, well, we don't care about new anime. We just care about giving it in English. And then there's like Hulu, which got One Punch season 2 somehow, like out of nowhere. So
I mean, that's just like a transfer of, I don't know, it's in licenses or something
Yeah.
like that. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's in the future, it's just gonna have to be like public outcry. I don't know. Enough people saying, where is this other season? I mean, it doesn't always work, but it seems like it's worked sometimes.
yeah. And if you don't know, if you're watching this, the way most anime is picked up for the next season is based on manga numbers. Because most people in Japan read and then watch the anime afterwards. So most of them are already clued in onto what the anime is going to be about, and then go watch the anime because they read it already. So they go and watch and pick up that. So here in America, everything's flipped. Everything's like, hey, I watched this really good anime, so I went and read it. Or like you have the very weeb people who are like, I read that manga like 10 years ago, and it's finally getting an anime. So it's worked so much different here because the manga consumerism here is all theoretically backwards if we think about how it works in Japan. So once the manga starts dipping on numbers in Japan, then the anime loses its next season because they're like, well, we'll just keep it written because it's easier just to push out the rest of the story in word and drawing than it is to make a whole new anime for it, which I would argue the opposite point of saying that if you kept the anime going, the manga would keep its numbers. But like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Because I know that's definitely how it works there.
I was gonna say it was. I mean, it's interesting that you brought that up about the. They look at the numbers and they're like, okay, people are watching this. We can go forward. They did kind of a reverse thing. This is just off the top of my head, but I remember when Saint Seiya, the 3D animation show, kind of came on for Netflix, which was like a remake of the original, completely different. And then I noticed that Netflix actually used most of the actors, not all of them, but the people that dubbed the 3D one, and they dubbed the old time one because I don't think there was. I think there was a terrible dub for the original one. So they used like all these actors that are. A lot of them are very, very, or at least I know the main guy. He does like the voice of Hinata from Haikyuu, just all that who does say his voice, but very very high quality people, and they're just dubbing over it because people were actually watching it. Now I don't know about it anymore. I kind of dropped off because it was really cool. It was really cool that that they were going in a different direction with the 3D show, but also B that they were like, hey, if you don't like this, we're dubbing this, and I didn't like it, so I went to that. It was, that's not to say that the show was terrible, the one that they made, but the original one just made it felt more natural to me to watch it that way. But I feel like it's probably better to be in anime purgatory than anime hell, because then anime hell just means that you're never gonna get out. Like you're never going anywhere from there. And then I assume like although in real terms purgatory doesn't mean that, but when I think of anime purgatory, it's like okay, this could either go to heaven or hell, but since it's right there, it's never it's at least there's a chance. There's always a chance. So I mean, that's kind of what I think. What do you think, Johnny?
I don't know. I mean, actually, I was trying to think if I've seen an anime that, goes to anime hell. I don't know what I can think of. I can think of anime that like should have gotten a second season, and I don't know if that would count as like being in purgatory, like Yamada's First Time or whatever it is. No, B got a HK.
It's either one, but B.HK is the
Oh,
one the Japanese version of it. But yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one that I felt like was probably going to lead to a second season 2, but as far as I know, it hasn't yet, and it'd be great if it did. But at the same time, I can also see it being just kind of okay. It stops. I mean, I watched another anime, Myriad Colors. I really would like a season 2 to that because there's a lot of episodes in that anime where they build up characters and they show some interesting sides and emotions to them, and I would like to see more of it. But as far as I know, they're not going to do anything else. I mean, I haven't looked into it, but I know this anime is at least a couple years old. So I don't know. I mean, it would be nice if they did, but I don't know what that's going to take, I guess.
nice. Yeah, it's speaking of, I mean, other shows that I've been watching right now, was Jujutsu Kaisen is, oh man, it is so good. And then the anime that I'm still holding to be my anime of the season, which is Tonikawa. Really good. I'm digging it. Almost every I did post a tweet though. Like I just hope this anime doesn't end up like Sing Yesterday for me, because Sing Yesterday for me, I don't want to give any spoilers to people that want to watch it, but it did end on kind of a weird note. Like it just kind of was like, that's how you're gonna end it? Like really?
Mhm.
It was just very strange, and I just don't want this one to end up like that. Now, granted, Sing Yesterday for me was a little different because there was like a love hexagon, like not even a triangle. Like there were so many people trying to. Actually, no, that's not true. More like a love square, I guess, because there were 4 people involved in this thing, but they were, it was just crazy. But yeah, I'm really, really digging Tonikawa. I highly recommend it to anybody that really
Oh,
digs
okay.
romance. But
I was actually going to recommend that to you. That was the one that I was like, I'm going to watch this, and then I'm going to tell you about it in case you wanted to watch it.
oh,
I
dude,
thought you would like
way
it.
ahead of you,
Okay,
way
yeah.
ahead of you,
Should
man.
have figured. You probably saw some like
Woo!
thumbnail and you were just in.
Well,
Okay.
he saw the thumbnail of a boy being held by a girl, and he's like, "Romance, here we go," and then he got into something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much romance, but there's just so much to it. I love. Okay, this is one thing. I've been talking about main character guys that are like, I don't even know what the word for them is. They let's just say this: they are not men. They are just these weaklings, and then girls are just like, "Oh my God, he doesn't notice me, and he won't even come after me. Let me go after him." And it's like 5 girls like fighting over each other like that. I'm like, bro, what the heck is going on? This guy is actually actively fights for this girl. Like it's crazy. I don't want to spoil anything, but he is very motivated to this girl, and he
Mhm.
shows it, and he continues to show it. He doesn't do what. That's the one thing in like Japanese anime romance things is like a guy will get with a girl, and then all of a sudden some other girl will come around, and he'll just be like, I can't resist, and it's like she didn't do anything yet. What are you doing? Like she hasn't done anything. She just walked up to you. She just said hi, and he's just like, I'm doubting everything. What is wrong with you? Like, okay, I know there are people like that, but it's just so unbelievable. So in this one, I just like. I mean, despite also the guy's name is NASA. He's named after NASA. Yeah, and one of his main motivations is to because he had such a weird name for Japanese person. Probably just anybody. He decided to just work so hard to overshadow his name, which I thought was really cool. Because for people that don't know, I'm named after my father, and my father does not have a good reputation in my family. In fact, like when I went to the islands where we're from, everybody knew him as Crazy Lucky. So I having to inherit like a weird name like that is very strange. So he felt like he had to go above and beyond and work very very hard and all that kind of stuff. So I love the main character. I'm like, yes, finally. Unlike Rent a Girlfriend, man. Whew, that main character was. Ugh. Oh. Oh. Ugh. But yeah. Is there anything else that you guys are watching?
I don't have anything else right now, though. I am gonna start watching Rent a Girlfriend. That should be a few episodes into the English at least. I mean, hopefully like 7 or 8. But
Yeah, it's about 7 or 8.
okay.
At some point, I'm gonna watch that last episode of Bofuri and finish off Max Defense. And we just got to Angemon and Digimon. What? Whoa!
Dude, wait
Did
till you
he
get
do
to,
that much?
Wait till you get to Angewomon. Oh man.
Yeah, that's what I've been waiting for. She's the coolest.
That's
though.
the word. That's the worst name for. It's like Anja woman. Yeah, hey, there she is. She's an angel. It's a woman. Anja woman. There she is.
Yeah.
Oh,
we couldn't think of anything better after
Roll off the
Angeman.
tongue as well, unfortunately.
Angel Woman.
Oh my god.
Womangel.
At least,
Yeah,
at least
there
it's
you
not
go.
Angel Girl.
I was gonna say Angel Lady.
Angela. Hey, what's her name? Angela.
Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
from.
yeah, Angel Lady, and then just Angel Dude.
She's from Los
It's even
Angeles,
more-
Angelady. That's where she's from. So that's awesome though. Yeah, I didn't even realize that Digimon's been out this long. But when I saw where you guys were at, I was like, what? Oh my god, I'm not gonna jump on this bandwagon anytime soon. But
Digimon.
yeah,
Di-
oh
di-
my god,
di-
I really do kind of want to go back and watch the dub. But before I go on a side rant, let's get into the shows that we keep up with. For anybody that wants to, we're trying to keep, our general talk that's usually very non-spoiler in the very beginning. But here we're going to get into some spoilers. For video watchers, I will put a time tag of where to go. But we're going to start with, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Is it?
Depends if it's this dungeon, no, because they're trying to pick up on you. For the most part. So what did you guys think? Of the last episode? So a little recap. They had dinner, festivities. We
Mhm.
kind of. It was kind of a slower episode, although until the
Mhm.
very end when it dropped that really hard. By the way, this guy is named Dix, and I think it's like something ridiculous. I'll look it up in a second, but his last name is something stupid too. But yeah, obviously we're seeing a lot of this Ikalos family, whatever they call themselves. The slave traders, or yeah, slave traders,
Yeah.
working this, and we do see that Uranus is not as bad of a guy as we thought, and then we see the person with the hood is a skeleton sage person that should have died a long time ago, and just all this kind of stuff. So we got a lot of things thrown at us. So what did you guys take away mainly from that episode?
I like what the mage was like. Wait, are you that super old mage who's like was a founder of this one thing? It was like, yeah, that's me. I'm like, what? What? I don't even know what you're talking about. You're just coming out of left field with this like, yeah, I invented everything. So it was me, and I'm a skeleton.
I thought I'd come for dinner. Whatever.
Yeah. I thought I just had a appear out of nowhere, just like like whatever.
What, you don't?
So that was really cool. Also, I keep every time you say Uranus, I'm like, that's not how it's spelled. It's spelled Ouronos. I'm like, it's just a different spelling. Spelled with O's and U's and R's, and I'm like, what is this?
I am Val.
I am Val name. Yeah, it definitely was a slower episode, and honestly, like for the first 10 minutes, I was like, where are we going? Where are we going with this?
Yeah. I mean, hearing him talk about his I don't know, Beast Clan and whatnot, it was a little slow. Yeah, definitely a build-up episode. I mean, not much you can really say about it, except a lot of just kind of big, like, what the hell is it's all just very casually being spoken about. I mean,
Yeah, I
find a
did-
sage at dinner, whatever.
I did like the Hestia Uranus like part where they were speaking with each other, and she's like, what is the dungeon, or what is this all about? And then Uranus, when the huge explanation was like, yeah, their souls keep dying or getting like built upon each other over and over and over and over again until finally some of them break free from that mold and gain sentience. Or I think the way he described it was like, eventually their their wants and needs come to the surface, and then that's what eventually takes over as their main personality. And I was like, wow, we're putting layers on this crazy dungeon, which I thought was just like an RPG fantasy model, which was like, they die, people could experience, a little gem falls down, they go sell it.
Of course,
But-
that makes me really think about what is it, Winnie, the little blue one that was staying with.
Yeah, the
Wyman.
poo. Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I mean, because she's super like humanoid in her face.
Yeah.
So I mean, given that premise of like, because I was thinking of that too. It's just they die and it's just kind of like accumulative, maybe.
Mhm.
That's like how many times has she technically died?
Well, I'm guessing they don't remember it. 'cause
No, they don't. But I
yeah.
mean, it's just something I was thinking about. I mean, I was very, just thinking about like at what point does everybody do that?
Also,
When
why
it
does she
change
look
or
so much?
evolve?
I don't know. Unless we see another one of her, she just looks so unique comparative to everybody. I mean, everybody there looks like there's no duplicates. At least from what I remember, it's like there was one big spider lady. There was like one of this armored insect dude. Like, so everybody there's like one of. Also, that really sucked that dude died like so like incredibly quick. Where he
You
was
know-
like, "I'm gonna
Yeah.
kill you," and he got sliced right in half. And I'm like,
Dude, can I just say that guy that sliced him? I know he's gonna fight Velf. Like he's big sword guys. Like they definitely got to fight. I'm one piece in this this thing up, so I know that Dix. By the way, his name's Dix Pear Dix. I did look that up, and I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I pronounce it.
Don't look into it.
But he has to fight Bell. I mean, you'd imagine. And then
Yeah.
I was really hoping that he'd kill that spider lady. I don't like spider people. I'm sorry, Spider-Man. I'm sorry. Just like people that resemble spiders need to die. It's just natural order of things. We
Yeah.
squash spiders. We
Yeah.
have raid spray for. They made a raid spray for spiders.
This
I
guy
used to work
gets
at Home
it, Johnny.
Depot.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just like she should have been the one to die. Like let's just
Wait,
be
wait,
honest. Also, she was being a little bit of a a nag. Like when she's like humans are just this and this. Now she was partially right when they came to that place,
Yeah,
but
it's a
yeah,
fat ambush.
yeah.
wait, let me hold on 1 second before you go at Lucky. Let me give you congratulations for saying Welf and not Vulcan. You did it, Lucky.
Yeah, I
You
did.
got it here.
Well,
Okay, go ahead,
yes.
Johnny.
okay, weirdly, what I'm going to ask is, so you don't like spiders? Do tarantulas change anything, or is that still in the same grouping?
Tarantulas are okay. Jumping spiders are not as because you don't know where they're gonna go. Whereas tarantulas, I feel like are just very like creepy, and they're more like the ones that are just like, all right, you don't see me, and then I just grab you. But I mean, I wouldn't touch one. I will never like, I'm
No,
good.
sure.
I'm good off
It's
that.
okay. He likes
Um,
the spider lady from Monster Girl Doctor, just not from Monster Musume.
That's
So,
that's literally what I was thinking about right now.
yeah, because
like-
she's
Yeah,
a
actually.
Monster
Would that-
Girl
would that
Doctor is a
change the-
Yeah,
tarantula,
yeah, that's right. Okay.
and the one from Monster Musume is a Black Widow.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
mean,
Also, the one from Monster Musume, I think, has like some extra eyes. Now, granted, so does the one from Monster Musume or Monster Girl Doctor. But her eyes are kind of like filled in, like it looks like makeup a little bit.
it looks
so-
like the snake scales that.
yeah, exactly.
the
So I
Lamia
think that's what
has,
it was.
yeah.
So when I
think
saw
never
like the
realized that. I just thought she had like 2 eyes.
yeah, so it just kind of I don't like
She has
like
them
the
like
extra
right
eyes.
here above her.
Yeah,
above her
I
eyebrows.
don't really like that.
Although
Also-
she's fuzzy too, so that helps. That helps change it. I mean, and then maybe that's the biggest thing with tarantulas is like with spider people, like making them fuzzy really does change their look because then they kind of just like look like a big woolly animal instead of like the Black Widow monster. And then this one from Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in Dungeon is like, sorry, Is It Wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Is like they're both very spider-like and have alien legs. You put some fur on those legs, you look a little better. So I mean, like, you got a point there. Like, you squash them, kill them, burn them in the fire.
There we go. Well, speaking of fire, that will bring us to Fire Force. Now, if you guys are enjoying us from the to skip past I mean, mostly kind of, I don't want to say bland episode, but like we said before, it doesn't really not too much happening with the last episode of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in Dungeon? But if you're joining us now, I will put another tag on where to. If you're watching this, I'll put another tag on where you can skip to avoid spoilers for Fire Force. Season 2, episode something, maybe 18, something like 17, 18, something like that. I'm struggling to remember exact. So Johnny, I feel like you're on a roll now. You called that poor Nataku would just stay with Hajime. Um, happened. Uh, he just kind of stayed there, you know.
Yeah.
With that, that's a very. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't have as much closure as I thought I would with the Nataku story. So also, if anybody would like to watch my video of Fire Force, I think it's called the Flames of Trauma. That should have came out by now. It's a good amount of it is about Nataku. But I I thought there was gonna be. I thought he was gonna get justice, man. And now, granted, him and the uncle guy are. They have a very strange relationship, just to say the least. But what did you guys take out of it besides that? I mean, there wasn't really too much to point out. Obviously, we have the Game Boy guy that's always playing Game Boys, the head of Hajime Industries. I wonder if that has something to do with his power. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I don't know. I feel like he's gonna meet the electricity girl, Hamea, and then she's gonna turn off his thing, and he's gonna go berserk, like. "Ah!"
No,
But
the second one.
yeah, I don't
Bigger
remember if
one.
there was. I feel like that was the major points of it. I mean, also the stamp guy took that humongous nuclear thing to the face.
That was gnarly.
That was pretty crazy. Also, I'm like, who is going to beat him? I feel like the captain has to take him on because he's the only one that won't hit him with fire, and he's probably strong enough to at least do something to him that doesn't
Dude, but
involve
who's gonna
fire.
fix
But
the
yeah.
moon, man? Dude, R.I.P.
Oh,
the moon.
oh
What a
my
poor
god,
moon, man.
dude. Oh my god. We're getting into like Dragon Ball Z level things. Now, granted, they didn't destroy the moon like Piccolo, but man, did they get real close. So, yeah, what else did you guys take away from that episode?
You know, it wasn't the beginning of Assassination Classroom. That's all I know. I do like all the like how it was shifting from the Star Guy's eyes to like I loved how Nataku's eyes switched depending on his power level. Like we saw like fire, then a star, then it went like his eyes went nuclear, and I'm like, that's really cool. And Anime Josh to our side was like, oh dude, I wonder like because we're always thinking of death battles, right? And he's like, I wonder like this guy versus this guy, Nataku versus this guy. I'm like, well, we gotta think about he was super enhanced by the demon, first of all, that was like absorbing his body.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still insane. I hope he gets to that power level by himself at some point because that'd be awesome. Not awesome for the people around him, but really cool. So what I was distracted by my own thoughts was he definitely has some mental abuse. It like trailing him throughout this entire episode, going, "Hey, it wasn't just the Star guy who he met. It was also his mom and his dad." And the expectations of the Hajime industry, like just going, hey, you're never good enough. Get better, do better, like get all the way up to here. And I'm glad to finally see that a crazy man helped a crazy kid. Like he was like, hey, I can't handle myself, but I work for this company, and also I see a little of myself in you, or something like that. I'll give reasons to things that aren't there. And then he was like, hey, you and me, bro, like we're together. And then the little kid was like, I love you. And he's like, I don't know about that.
Okay,
See, I think he was
first off,
definitely much more distant.
yeah, I was gonna say first off, Michael, that was a terrible way to describe what happened between them.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it great?
It was basically like he was like, "Hey, you're pretty weak. Why don't you stay that weak? You don't have to be strong." And the kid was like, "Wow, everybody's wanted me to be strong." Kind of like the opposite of what you think. Like, don't you want the most for your kids? And this kid got so much of, hey, I have really high expectations for you. When finally somebody was like, I don't expect too much from you. He was like, thank God. And it was just like, it was really strange. Yeah, it was a really strange thing. But
You
yeah,
just stay manageable.
yeah,
Now, that's
Make my
now
job
what
hard.
Lucky just said was the real explanation.
yeah. It's like fiction, reality. But, yeah, speaking of reality, what was your reality of this episode, Johnny? By the way, if people can't see me on the podcast, I'm doing wavy hands to show reality like a mirage. So yeah.
I'll copy you, Lucky.
Oh my god. All right, Johnny. All right, Johnny. So what did you think?
It was definitely interesting. I mean, because you were talking about the psychological effects that he's had, like different abuse and trauma. I mean, that guy, I don't remember his name, but he cut through that kid's super crazy form like it was nothing almost. So I don't know if that's even his own kind of like, that's just a weird relationship they have kind of thing. I don't know if he's always going to have that, which leads into my next thing. I think it was Karan. He said something about like, I guess that's that kid's protector. And then that got me thinking, I mean, who else is everyone else's protector? I mean, obviously we know everybody who's in the evangelist. So I guess the only other person I can really think of is Shinra. I wonder who his protector is. I
If
mean,
he has one.
I have some
Well,
thoughts.
I
It could
I
be
was
the
gonna say
captain. It could be Arthur.
Yeah, they kind of he kind of made an allusion to that because he was, they were talking when they were talking to the Hajime boss. He was just kind of like he was like, yeah, everybody. He said something along the lines of this, like, I just realized like everybody's here to protect me because Vulcan comes in and he says I
Mhm.
won't let Shinra be another Amaterasu, and he straight up says like everybody's here to protect me. So it's kind of implied that
So the firehouse. Is the
the
protector in this
company
instance.
8
Got it.
is his whole protector, like as a
I like to
whole.
think it was Arthur. I think Arthur's going to be his main protector. Just because,
It feels like it.
Shinra's his horse. It works out, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's not too far
Fair.
from the point, which is actually it does kind of get me into something that I've been thinking about, and I alluded to this in my Fire Force video. Was like I wonder if they're going to explain what happened with Arthur's parents, like if we're gonna figure out why they abandoned them, or if it's just gonna be a terrible just like man, this kid's an idiot. We gotta get out of here. Like I really hope it's not.
We'll stop talking about knights.
I really hope I really hope it's not. But I'm just like I have a feeling like the evangelists have something to do with this, or I
Mhm.
feel like this is gonna be uncovered way later, and we're gonna get some messed up things where it's like I don't know. I was trying to think of like the story of Arthur, like King Arthur, and maybe they were gonna pull something from that.
Mhm.
But I have no idea. We'll see.
I mean, with that, I mean, like, if he's Arthur, then we have that witch lady on the other side who's Morgana.
Mhm.
Where's Arthur's Merlin? We need a Merlin for Arthur. But I do one little star moment is I love when like Haumea was like, we might have gone too far. And like all of them were together, we're like, what did we do? And I'm like, yeah, you blew it out of proportion, like you hella did.
Which is really funny because they were winning most of their fights. They were winning pretty much. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's really interesting because we even saw that Arrow or Hamea, whatever, because it showed that Maki and the puppet girl were on the floor, like they'd been knocked out, so they lost their fight. And just all these other things. And yeah, I really like Arthur's development so far. I really didn't think he was going to amount to much more than what he was, but now we're starting to see that he is very on par with Shinra, and even is to a certain degree is the person that brings Shinra back from the abyss, to so to speak. Especially in that episode where Shinra went berserk, and Arthur really didn't. He kind of treated him a little bit like a bitch. If we're being honest, like he bodied Shinra like the entire time, and it was just like, "Is this what you're gonna do? Is this what you're gonna do? Huh? What? I thought you were a hero. I thought you were a hero, not a demon. What are you doing?" And then eventually he kicks that naked lady out of his head, and it's probably done with her. I don't know. But yeah.
Fool.
So yeah, that was very interesting. I'm trying to think if there was too much else. It wasn't. It's more of a transitionary episode. It feels like we're eventually going to get into the last part of the season, which I'm assuming Sho would come back. Shinra's brother would come back, and then we'll see a little bit more of that. But yeah, why don't we? Unless you guys have anything else to say about that episode.
I have one thing.
No, let's go to One Piece.
So
No,
in the
I'm
same
kidding.
vein, I don't know. Something I just thought of. Like, do you think his knighthood thing is that a childhood trauma, or is that just him? I don't know.
I mean, he's also obsessed with circles, and that whole thing with the round table, that was odd. And him learning all of pi, that's also odd. Like, you don't just, even people who can recite a lot of pi, I mean, it's not just something that your brain just does. So I'm like, I feel there's secret training there. Secret training.
Well, because I was thinking about it because Lucky was talking about, seeing what happens with him and kind of backstory stuff. And I'm like, that's true. Are we going to find out this crazy thing? Like he's obsessed with circles and knights because of some tragic thing. But I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about. Want to throw it out there.
His parents died underneath a table.
funny enough,
And the
I felt
table
I
is
felt a
round.
very interesting kinship with Arthur because for some reason I learned about the first like 40 or 50 digits of pi for like almost no reason besides the fact to like impress my math teacher who wasn't really impressed with
Shy.
me otherwise. I'll just say that. Um, but yeah, so
Well,
it
at
was a,
least you know pi. Go sit down.
yeah, at least I know the first 50 digits of a infinite of an infinite number. So there's that. Speaking of infinite things, One Piece, which probably will never end, is our next subject. So if you're coming to us from to skip Fire Force, here is One Piece, and then usually after this we usually end it. So if you want to skip to the end, you can more than welcome to do that.
Hey,
Otherwise, we were happy to see you.
Johnny,
But
do you have a baseball bat? Because Lucky's nailing these transitions out of the
oh my
park.
god. What's really funny is funny enough, I've been watching a lot of I don't want to get too much into tangent, but I was watching a bunch of these like news show bloopers, and then I started picking up on. I was like, dude, that's smooth, that's smooth, that's smooth, that's smooth, that's smooth. It's just people reaching, bro. It's just people reaching for things. Let's just make this relevant to this. But yeah, so if you guys want to skip One Piece spoilers, I will put a tag over here.
It's
But
the name of the treasure.
in the last episode of One Piece, by the way, I'm loving the fact that they put a little preview in the. I mean, they've been doing this for a while. I mean, the first time I can remember was kind of when we got to see. Oh my God, I cannot. Kobe. When we saw him like kind of grow, like buff and stuff. That was one of the first times that I remembered it. So when they were doing the. I don't know what you call that thing with a meeting of all the people, like the reverie or something like that.
The Reverie, yeah.
Yeah. So that was around when I remembered them starting it, like before Whole Cake Island. But I'm really liking those previews. We see. Oh man, what didn't we see? We
Dude,
see obviously the playgrounds. We got all kinds of action going on. And what? Funny enough, Big Mom just passes out and
That
going to
actually did
Kaido.
surprise me. Queen finally got a hit that mattered. I mean, if she wakes up, they're all dead. But it's definitely like, hey, you did it. You
okay,
stupid dinosaur.
okay, my dudes. Likelihood that Big Mom can break out of Sea Prism Stone shape. Likelihoods. What do we think that's going to happen? Do you think something? Maybe she's going to get really skinny from lack of food, wriggle out. But like sheer breaking force of Sea Prism Stone, which is supposed to be literally the strongest material in One Piece.
Yeah,
And it also
I'm thinking what's probably gonna happen. This is, she's not gonna break through it, but the rest of her crew is unaccounted for right now. So I'm assuming they're gonna jump that ship. Like they're gonna somehow meet up with Big Mom. Like that ship's gonna come. That ship with like the big smiley face and everything, gonna come pick her up, and then we're gonna see some crazy stuff because obviously this is really cool seeing two emperors in the same place. The last time realistically we saw this happen was kind of the Summit Wars when we saw Shanks. Obviously Whitebeard was dead already, but they were in the same spot. So technically,
hey, it was a technicality, but it was
yeah,
there.
and Blackbeard was there, and he was a future for
And
emperor,
Luffy
but
was there, and he was kind of a
fifth
implied
emperor,
one.
yeah. So it works out. But yeah, I mean, there was, dude, those playgrounds are just like, oh my god, that's what don't they have in Wano that isn't messed up? They have the Smile Fruit. They have messed up water. They have messed up fish that come from that water. They have messed up rice that come from that water. They've imprisoned people. They like what don't they have there that's just terrible? Like, come on.
Mm,
But yeah, what else did you guys take from that episode?
classism, feudalism. I mean, the guy does everything. Yeah, it was a fun episode. I admit. Now, to be honest, I did pass out for a couple minutes here and there, but it was fun while I was watching. We gotta stop watching anime so late.
All
Yeah.
right, come out earlier.
Oh man.
Come on,
Yeah.
no. Come over in reverse. We'll watch it at 8 in the morning instead of 2 in the morning.
Oh, there you go.
Just 6 hours later, man. It'll work out. Yeah, Johnny,
Yeah.
you got anything to add?
Man, I thought there'd be. I mean, Big Mom caused a lot of trouble. I thought there'd be a little bit more craziness there because I'm also like, where's she gonna go? I mean, I see what you're saying about why wouldn't her ship just show up and just the rest of her crew just start wrecking shop? But I don't know. I mean, Big Mom got scattered to some random place. Who's to say the others didn't? So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we won't see them for a while. And then what? She's just gonna be taken to Kaido, and then I don't know what's gonna happen from there.
That's my biggest thing. It's like, what is Kaido gonna do with Big Mom? Because Kaido is like super powerful and nearly can't die. So I'm like, is he gonna execute Big Mom and just be like, now there's less warlords? Like, what do the warlords have? Like, obviously, the only reason why they haven't killed each other is just their sheer amount of power. But I mean, like Whitebeard, he was like the reigning champ of warlords. But the only reason he didn't take out the rest of them is because that's not what he believed. He didn't think that it was proper for one person to just wipe out everybody else. But I'm like, why is Blackbeard not doing that? Is he still scared of like Shanks and Big Mom and Kaido? So it's like, I was just wondering, because Kaido just still seems super powerful as his dragon form. So I'm like,
Yeah. Also, I want to
Not
figure out how the heck Shanks took that guy on, and then like 2 days later goes to the Summit War and just ends that. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna fight literally one of the most indestructible beings that we've seen so far in One Piece, and then I'm gonna stop one of the most unstoppable wars we've ever seen in One Piece, and then I am going to scare off one of the scariest villains in all of. Actually, no, I'm gonna stop one of the most powerful admirals in all of One Piece, meaning Akainu, and then I'm gonna stop, and then I'm also gonna scare off freaking Blackbeard, who also has the power of one of the most powerful emperors ever seen in one. I'm like, bro,
yeah,
Shanks, you need to calm down. Put
mm.
the nuts back in, bro. You're
No,
just
no,
you're
no,
just
no.
dragging them on the floor at this point.
Get those nuts back out because I have a theory.
Oh.
So we already see Luffy getting his hockey upgraded. We know Shanks either has the most secretive devil fruit ever, or more than likely is a super hockey user. So he told Luffy to come meet him after the whole thing, right? They still have not met yet, correct? So what if Shanks is gonna be like, hey, little bro Luffy, you watched your brother die. Now it's time to pass on my hockey secrets to you. And he's like, here's my secret and the crazy things I know, so that way you can be a warlord level being with your hockey and then have your devil fruit on top of that.
Man, have your whole cake and eat it too. Man, that's some crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm just wondering how much further you can go with hockey. You know, especially with armament hockey, obviously. But I'm wondering if maybe it's
Observation
going
hockey.
to. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's literally going to be like a trinity, like you use all of them at the same time. Because obviously we saw a little bit of that with Doflamingo when they fought. When they were doing the armament hockey, trying to like do that thing where like I think Doflamingo was trying to stomp on Law and Luffy stopped them with his hockey foot, and then they just flashed their Conqueror's hockey together. And I'm wondering if maybe the Conqueror's hockey can go into the armament hockey, and then obviously we have this Wano hockey that shoots through instead of just it shoots through people instead of just being on the outside of your skin.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's just so much that is like it's so crazy that this is like what 900 something episodes right now, and we're still like, man, I really want to see something else happen because it's just like, man, this is the story of One Piece, man.
Armament is the black stuff that goes across your arm,
Yeah,
which apparently can evolve into the go through hockey.
yeah,
Then we have the observation hockey, which can evolve into two things: future hockey, which you can see the future, and the ability to like hear everything around you, like our buddy who's in the Marines now.
yeah, Kobe.
Yeah, like Kobe's observation hockey, which is super amazing. And then the third one is the Conqueror's hockey, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even then, there's also
Which can knock people out.
yeah, there's also kind of I mean, what I would assume would be the true observation hockey, because when you think of observation, you think of looking, which seems like Usopp has a little bit of that, because when he shot that girl with that would turn people into candy over in Dressrosa from like way far away. Granted, he's a sniper, but I was just like, okay, there's got to be some observation hockey going on here because
Yeah.
that I also he was able to see like their spirits a little bit, so I was just
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
this is crazy, man, and I really want to see how the Straw Hats would match up against the Shanks, the red-haired crew, because obviously we gotta see Usopp fight his dad. We have to see that, or we have to see Usopp fight that sniper guy from the Blackbeard pirates that already lost to his dad, but maybe that guy will kill Usopp's dad, and Usopp will be like, "No, I can't believe you
Dude, I
did
keep
this."
forgetting Usopp's dad is like a straight up amazing pirate.
Yeah, right, dude. Everybody forgets about Dad Usopp, or I don't know what his name.
Dad
Yosop,
Sop,
Usopp.
dude.
Yeah,
Dad
Yosop.
Sop.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that is. I mean, anything else about One Piece besides crazy and all that other stuff?
After 900 episodes, I still watch it, and I still enjoy watching it every time it's on.
Man, anything else you guys are looking forward to? By the way, if you guys are joining us from One Piece, we're just talking about the stuff that we're gonna be looking forward to and all that good stuff. I'm trying to think of I've been a little bit busy this week because I've been doing some interviews for my other channel, but man, dude, there's just every single time I get into this slump, I kind of like it because then all of a sudden I'm like more invigorated to go look for anime. I'm not as picky as I usually would be, which is it's good to be picky, but to the point where you're not even giving an anime a chance is a little ridiculous. But obviously, I'm liking Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm liking Tonikawa. I really like where they're headed, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And then obviously, I'm looking forward to Log Horizon. I've been saying this for a while. I really need Log Horizon season 3 like as soon as possible. Oh my goodness! But yeah, anything else you guys are looking forward to?
I'm just sad that Demon Slayer's not going to come out till next year in America. So I mean, like, that's something you gotta wait for. We gotta wait for Ray Zero. I'm just kind of bummed about a lot of that stuff. But I am looking forward to getting into Sword Art Online. I think that'll be the next big series to get into and to get into this Alicization art.
Yeah, dude, I've been not keeping up with it, but I've every now and then on YouTube it'll show me something. I'm like, there's some crazy stuff going on in Sword Art, but man, I don't know what it is. I keep on just like any other series. I'm just like, man, this looks really cool, but it's like it is Sword Art, and I don't know if I want to go back into this world right now. Just because it's such a familiar world doesn't mean I want to go back in. Because I'm also but I've heard great things about it. So let me know how it is, and I might um read a summary about it and not watch it. But
Perfect,
yeah,
perfect.
perfect, right? Great.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I got an idea for a new anime series we can do. Read Lucky summaries of episodes he won't watch.
Oh man, that would be a little too much because I'm
In
mostly
the
in it for the
original
story.
Japanese. No.
Oh my goodness.
Itadakimasu.
Toriko, I got it.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, I think that's basically it. I'm trying to think of some other things I'm looking forward to. I'm just kind of an open book. I tried to watch a little bit more of that series that I was telling you guys about. Jeez Louise, there's so much anime on here. It is
Oh.
called And Yet the Town Moves. I unfortunately I
Ah,
also got
okay.
into another anime which was the Legend of Legendary Heroes, which I really got into. So I might go back to this one. It looks like it could deliver on some of the things, but we'll see about that. It is starting off a little slow, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, besides that, guys, just remember this. We're on Spotify, and we are we're also if you guys want to check out my Fire Force video that will have come out by now, I will put a link in the description below, or whatever the caption box for podcasts, whatever. But also remember to keep it casual.